Switch Stream Decker. Yep. Thanks for the reminder. Decker updated. Look at that. Want a die roll? This is a good start. For all the people out there that are modern aficionados and you're looking to get better, win the die roll is a good first step. This hand's like, this is like a good, clean, fair hand of modern, right? So that's not what we're interested in doing at 7. This is my favorite thing about mulliganing in Magic, is mulliganing kind of close 6s and 7s, and then being rewarded with unkeepable 6s. And I mean, like, this hand is rancid. It's much worse than the 7 that we mulligan, but like, I'm keeping at 5, right, with a scry. So I can't keep that either. All right, here's my Blinkmoth, here's my Memnite. Go. One thing I will say that I like about Dredge a lot, I've been playing with it a lot, I played it a bunch the last couple days, is that Dredge mulligans really well. I won off of turn, please be land, tilt, Signal Pest. Okay, it's castable at least. I've won off of 3 and 4 cards hands in the last 2 days while playing Dredge, which is kind of sweet. Like, just mulligans better than anything else in the format. You just, like, only need very specific cards. Hey, shut up and take my money, Forgotten, with the 2-month free subscription. Thanks to re-upping, bud. I appreciate it. Welcome back. Not block, must attack, same thing. What do you think of Affinity so far? Well, after mulliganing close ones and unkeepable ones into stumbling and dying, it seems excellent, right? The burn matchup traditionally with Affinity is pretty good, so I don't think I feel too bad being down a game here. We'll see. Obviously, you know, even your good matchups you can lose. That's why we play them out. Vault Skirge. I mean, that technically gains us health, right? There are 0 Steel Overseers in this deck list. We did yet? Feel like I'm dead. At least, like, say what you will about liking or disliking modern, at least the games are generally brutal and quick, right? There's not Sans Lantern Control, there's not a whole lot of why not attack first to offer the trade? Because while you are technically correct that I should attack first to offer the trade, the actuality is that they're not blocking, so it doesn't matter. That's you are not wrong that it is technically correct to offer the trade. I wanted to press my auto pass hotkey and then go attack with all and stop pressing buttons though, so because they were 0% to block, I didn't bother offering the trade. All right, we're done here. Stuff, good game, well played, opponent. But the problem is you're almost never 100% locked, and like your opponent could be an idiot and mess up. Like, that's why it's miserable to play with and against. It's probably a fine Etched Champion matchup. Bring in 1 Dispatch as the last card. This WD is fine. Don't ever underestimate. You wonder why people were surprised that I was down on clock earlier today? Because I used the F6 key very well. Won the F6 key very well. Alright. Open for a faster hand this game, or one with Galvanic Blast to kind of kill my opponent's stuff faster. I actually have auto pass bound to some dollar dues. What is this? Oh, lordy. Lordy. All right, we'll put that one in. That one can definitely go in the queue. You didn't ask first, but you knew I'd take that one, right? So I actually played Magic Online for an entire semester off of my Chromebook, remoted into my desktop at home, and Chromebooks don't have F keys on them. So I rebound. I got used to my Magic Online hotkeys being non-F keys, so they're not F keys. They're all around W, A, S, and D, like I'm used to pressing. Ape decks are great. Ape decks are wonderful. I just can't keep this, right? Just like doesn't do anything. I mean, like this is 6. Not excited about it, but we're gonna keep it. I played the mouse that I am currently using has played a lot of Counter-Strike. We played a lot of 1.5 back in the day. 1.5, 1.6, ton of Source Engine. Played a lot of Source Engine. I'm not quite old enough to be all in on the non-source stuff. I think it's right to play this on one as opposed to the Signal Pest. Not 100% on that decision, though. We played a lot of 1.5 because you could crack 1.5. You didn't have to pay for it because we were teenagers. We didn't have money. So, like, we were lucky to have computers that could play video games. God, I'd be so terrible. Although CSGO and Source 2 have native Linux clients now. Believe it or not, we didn't play a lot of stock Counter-Strike. We played, what's the word I'm searching for? I actually, it's how I started doing software development, was writing scripts for Counter-Strike servers. I think they're all still out there. The old Event Scripts website, I believe, is all still online. Yeah, we wrote a Dungeons and Dragons mod. We wrote, oh, you mentioned your processor and RAM before. I have a 1060 in my computer, so it's okay. It's like nothing exceptional, but it's fine. You are sure. Three mill rocks plus lantern, but it's not 100%. It's the same reason you make the eggs player clicked through their deck, and we banned eggs because it was miserable. Like, they could brick. Statistically speaking, you're not 100% dead. And as a competitive player, if you're playing an event that you actually care about doing well in, you should make your opponent actually kill you every single time, especially on Magic Online where there's no shared clock. Like, if you're staying up on clock on the Lantern player and you care about the Magic Online event you're playing in, if you're getting every edge, you should make them actually kill you, which just, like, is a miserable gameplay experience. I'm gonna sacrifice this to itself. Put 2 counters on here, and by that I mean this is gonna die to a bolt or something. Yep. Hopefully we draw some more action here. More creature lands would be decent. Yeah, you're not wrong. Opponents played 3 cards this game, and we're still at 18, so that's nice. What you got? What you got? What you got, opponent? Yep. No, there's a basic island in the deck. I just sacrificed the thing's Path to Exile targeted Arcbound Ravager both times. One infect. Red. Little did we know our opponent is now a red-white control deck. I mean, like, glass half full, they played these Spears after they finished killing all of our things. Okay. It's actually decent because it means that this will be a 3/3 now when it comes into play. Yeah, if the burn, I agree. If the burn player just takes all their spells and throws them at our face, they usually lose that race. Like they're a worse linear deck than we are on average. I really hope they miss the onboard trick and try and bolt my Master of Etherium here. Yeah, they missed the on. So the onboard trick here is I can animate this Nexus to give me another guy. So my opponent's not going to kill my Master of Etherium here. Nice card. Magic's tough. Remember, only the best players play Magic Online. Magic Online is more competitive than playing on other platforms. Just I feel like the people that talk about Magic Online being more competitive than other things, just like they haven't watched my stream enough. There's no way you watch my stream on the regular and come to the conclusion that Magic Online's super competitive. I think I want to hold up this Inkmoth Nexus. I could get one more point of regular damage on this Master of Etherium here, but I think I'd actually, maybe I'm supposed to hold this back to block, honestly. It's possible I'm supposed to just hold this back to block. Yeah, I think I'm supposed to hold this back to block. That was a bad attack. I think there's a chance we lose this race now because of that attack. Extra punished. I mean, never playing against trash cards is like something that I would want, right? Like if we never had to play against trash, that would be nice. Yeah, but then my Master of Etherium would die to... Are they not have any spells? That's good for us. Yeah, you should basically assume everything we play on stream someone else is paying for. Unless it's like a really terrible creature combo deck. If there aren't Restoration Angels involved, you should probably assume it's not my money. Which, we might spend my money to play Restoration Angels later today. Alrighty. Hey, if we get blazed, we get blazed, right? Blaze it, yo! No, I probably don't spend... I haven't spent my own money to play Cobra Healy. I guess that's not true. I played it off stream a little bit with my own money and regretted my decision. We're gonna get blazed. Yep. We're into 5 here. So I took an extra point of damage, possibly 2 extra points of damage, by not holding my Master of Etherium back last turn. So that could easily cost us this game. So I don't know if we would win this game with slightly better play, but I definitely could be in a better spot if I'd played a little bit tighter. It's Brutal Honesty by Jeff. Any Hex later today? Yeah, I'm planning to close the stream out with some Hex later, right, Vic? Probably not for 4 more hours or so. I think I want to play 2 to 3 Magic Leagues. This is the start of this one here. Depends on how quick these go. There's a lot of modern matches are pretty quick. We're dead to Boros Charm. There's no attacks. It's good for us. Play our opponent as a similar pile of bricks. Holding a bunch of lands for a potential Searing Blaze later. Alright, they're up to 7 in fact. I'm gonna hold this island for now to bluff something. Extra land doesn't really do anything. You should never hold 2 lands, especially when we have things like Thoughtcast that draw multiple cards in our deck, but holding a single land is fine, I think. Okay, so we're Searing Blazing that. Really sad when they kill us in response. Now, Force of Will TCG just doesn't appeal to me as someone that has, like, any sense of decency in class. Oh, we're just dead, right? Yeah, we're just dead to that. And remember, I took, like, possibly 2 extra points of damage earlier this game, so if I was at, like, 4, there's a very real possibility that, like, this Inkmoth would get to go the distance here. Yeah, pretty real chance if we got through that turn. This would, I guess there's also a chance that, like, if we're a higher health total there, they don't Searing Blaze aggressively and then they blaze the Inkmoth the following turn. But with the Cranial Plating, we're probably a pretty strong favorite to win. For those of you that are unfamiliar, Force of Will TCG is basically the one that's like borderline hentai. It's like, just like characters falling out of their clothing on all of the artwork. I mean, and so like this is the tough part, right? Like this hand like kinda does stuff, but like there's no payoff in it, right? There's no Thoughtcast, there's no Cranial Plating, there's no Master of Etherium, so like, am I not supposed to I think I'm not supposed to keep hands like this on 7, right? Anyone who's played Affinity a little bit more than me, would you keep a hand like this on 7? This is a pretty easy mulligan, right? No idea. I'd have to see a list iron. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're supposed to mulligan this, right? And like get an unkeepable 6. I mean, like, This hand is technically better than the 7 we mulliganed. It just needs a second land. If we hit Mox Opal on top of our deck, we get turn 1 Cranial Plating. I will keep a second land. It is not as nuts as Mox Opal, but it'll do pig. All right, unfortunately, we're not going to be able to bolt that bird anytime soon. Maybe they'll Blood Moon us, give us Manifest Galvanic Blast. Stone Rain! Holy crap! Wow! Punished for not leading on the Darksteel Citadel. Holy dicks. That's some swift. I deserve that one. I deserve that one. That is certainly one I deserve. Yep. All right. And Guthix with the money. Never lucky. That being said, we're not in a terrible spot, right? Like OP just turned on our hand. Like we're attacking for 4 here, we're attacking for 6 next turn. Like, you know, opponent's got no plays. Land. Ding, ding, ding. For those of you wondering, I'm playing this pre-combat for auto pass value. My opponent's decisions are not going to be impacted by me playing this card. They're dead next turn. Ah. Yeah, you're right. We definitely should have assumed it's Ponza. I concur. How do we feel about clicking submit? Is Dispatch marginally better than Thoughtcast? I guess they're kind of a fair deck. So does that mean Etched Champion is good? This is probably fine. I think this is supposed to happen. Kinda. I don't want to bring in a bunch of some money to Stone Raid Your Heart. Thanks, Pinky. I kinda don't want to bring in a bunch of colored spells. I'd bring in Thoughtseize, so it's what Affinity people always do. I'd probably play the Resto deck as of right now, but that's mostly because I just like enjoy casting Restoration Angel. I think we're gonna play the Restoration Angel deck again later today, so we'll see. I think my timeline for today is Affinity League, Dredge League, Kiki Cord League, play some Hex, call it a day. So buckle up, folks. You're gonna be here for a little while. Yeah, isn't that great, Dwight? Just the ninth place get got. Yeah, they could play Shatterstorm or Creeping Corrosion. They could play a lot of cards. We could just like chill out and kill them. Is that okay? Can we just like chill out and kill them? Like boarding in a bunch of spells that like depend on me having Glimmervoids or Mox Opals when like they're destroying my stuff sounds less than appealing. I'm gonna run to the restroom while my opponent decides what they're doing here. I'll be right back, folks. We got cards. And this hand's great, right? Zero, 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 zero. Tilt. I should just hold this, right? Just like it doesn't play anything, so I should just surprise them with it. I was raised Catholic, but I'm not currently a practicing Catholic Christian or anything else. Probably just want to sleeve up the plating, right? Right on time, Memnite. They do play Trinisphere in their board sometimes. It's actually a good point. They do play Trinisphere sometimes, so maybe I should have played this out proactively. Oh, but Jeff, we told you they play Shatterstorm, Jeff. Why didn't you listen, Jeff? Hef Hoagland, why didn't you listen? Why didn't you listen? They play Shatterstorm, Jeff. Put in the Thoughtseize. I wouldn't have cut any of the cards I currently had in play for the Thoughtceize, so everyone just needs to calm down, okay? Just need everyone in chat just needs to calm down for a second. Little abrasive opponent. All right. I'm gonna sacrifice this. I'm gonna make a 3/3, I think. I agree. This is, as someone who spent a lot of time playing Dredge recently, you should just make your opponent kill you. Just like, don't worry about it. Just this is how Modern works. You win the games where your opponent doesn't have their thing, and you lose the games where they have their thing. At least that's how the good decks in Modern work. Like, there's bad decks like Kiki Cord and Cobra Sahili that are like trying to be kind of interactive, but the good decks in this format are just asking your opponent, do you got it? You don't got it? You're dead? It's great. It's great. Oh no. Oh no. Is that unbeatable? I feel like that might be unbeatable. Right, I guess I'll pass the turn here. This Blinkmoth can block as a 4/4. Affinity is consistently one of the best decks in Modern. Just like Mox Opal's a messed up card. Turns out being able to make 2 mana on the first turn, real good. And we're done here. Maybe I should just play Tron on Sunday. I think I have a Tron deck in the donation queue. Maybe I should just do that to people. Alright, fine. Fine. I'll cut these, bring in these. That's the swap. Unfun with the people on the stream. Are there especially like salty people on the stream? It's a free thing, right? They shouldn't be salty. This hand is great, right? It's like, please don't Shatterstorm me, opponent. My hand is great. Oh god, they kept 7. Oh god, they kept 7. Why did they keep 7? Chat, we let my opponent keep 7. Whee! The second Mox is worse than a land, but the other one was better than a land, so, you know. Call it a wash. How dead are they? Yeah, I think it's usually Thoughtcast. I think usually these decks play Thoughtcast or Galvanic Blast. This deck list is playing both. Alright, so they didn't do anything on 2, so we're definitely getting Shatterstorm next turn, right? It's just like not close. Alright. In words that are often spoken on this stream, kill me! It could be Ancient Grudge, you're right. We're much better against Ancient Grudge than anything else right now. A Braid, killing that. Well, that's good for me. That says the words, Hogland is not getting Shatterstorm. That tells me we kept our hand based on that. And I feel real good if they kept their hand based on that. That feels excellent. Feels great. Am I sacrificing this to put a thing on here? I'm not, right? Because it's an extra point for my Signal Pest next turn. I could like get an extra point now or an extra point later. And if I get Shatterstormed, I'm not even thinking about that because we can't win that game anyways. All right, kill me, opponent. Kill me. Kill me. Our Concede APM is so on point. Just that one. Is that one beatable? That one might not be beatable. That's a tasty one. That's like delish. They have to block all of these, right? Or they're dead. Literally dead on board if you don't block. Wait, what? You're literally dead on board, right? This is... Are they dead on board? So this puts 3, 4, 5, 6. You're just literally take the blocks and Magic Online is competitive and the was guaranteed lethal. Was it? Did I miss lethal too? I did miss lethal. Yeah, you're right. Because no any one non-block. I should have counted. So I punted and then they punted back. So I should have blasted pre-combat. Yeah, so I punted and then opponent punted back. Yeah, Magic Online is good for one thing. When people tell me that they're using Magic Online to test, it's like, Magic Online is good for knowing, like, if your linear deck is capable of doing its thing. But as far as, like, quality gameplay goes, even the competitive leagues on Magic Online, like, you shouldn't use them as your data points during testing. Because there's lots of things like that where, like, not only did I make a mistake, but then my opponent was just, like, literally dead to onboard known information. And then, you know, whatevs. Any rate, I would just like to say welcome to everyone that's hanging out here today. My name is Jeff Logan. We're playing some Modern Magic together and playing some Affinity. We're going to play some Dredge later, some Kiki Chord as well, so stick around for all that. If you're enjoying what you see, please make sure you hit that follow button. It doesn't cost you anything, and it helps my stream grow. The best way you can support my content past that, if you're really enjoying it, is by subscribing on Twitch. You can do that for $4.99 a month or varying amounts. You can also support my content by supporting my sponsors, mtgotraders.com. We'll love to buy and sell Magic Online cards with you. If you use code Hoagland PayPal at checkout, then you'll save 8% on your singles orders there. CoolStuffInc.com buys and sells a lot of cool stuff, including TCG singles. Using promo code Jeff5, you can save 5% on Magic, Pokemon, and Yu-Gi-Oh cards with them. InkedGaming.com would love to help you customize your gaming experience. They do custom playmats, mouse pads, sleeves, binders. They really do it all. You can upload your own custom artwork or choose from the wide range of artworks that they have on their website. And finally, SpareDeck.com, they offer kind of a unique service. Let's say you want to try something like this Affinity deck, but you don't own all these cards. You can rent any physical, standard, or modern deck from SpareDeck, and you can rent a deck for a weekend or up to an entire month with them. This is our first of a few different donation deck lists for today. If you're interested in finding out how you can get me to play your deck on stream, be sure to check out bit.ly/HoogleSellout, all lowercase. They stopped selling custom sleeves. That's sad. All right, custom gaming accessories. Where's my binder? Is my binder down here somewhere? I have a binder with my face on it. I think my wife hid it. My toddler. That's sad. I have a binder in my home somewhere. Bum. One mulligans. My hand's like solid Dece plus. It's like not Dece, but like Dece. It's not like it's Dece. It's not Dece plus. God, getting it all backwards. Getting the Deces mixed up. Opponent mulligan to 5. There's only one thing I can think of when my opponent mulligans to 5, and that's mulligan to 4, mulligan to 4, mulligan to 4. All right, Spire of Industry, sure. I did find my Altered Birds of Paradise. They were in a box in the other room. Okay. It's a good hit. It's a good hit. Okay. Okay. No, they're located in a room that is behind a toddler-proof handle. Oh, this literally... God, our hand just went from... Oh, lordy. It just actually can't do anything. Actually can do stone nothing. Go. At least they're down to 2 cards in hand. When I'm mulligan to 5, so we have a chance. Getting Searing Blazed. God, what a tilt. I'm just gonna give that person a timeout in case they're new here. This is artifact number 4, right? So that means this cost me 1. I think I want to play this. I guess if I play it now, Yeah, I'm just gonna play it now because it gets to attack sooner then. And I can do this. Am I getting... They trying to cast a white spell and didn't tap white mana? Yeah, okay. Boros Charm, Helix, something like that. Wow, the Helix me. Am I dead? Not killing the Vault Skirge makes me think I'm probably dead. All right. All right. Well, they're dead in what, 2 here? We run a tight ship around these parts. If you want to spew, you got to pay for it, and people willing to pay for it generally spew less. Am I dead? There's someone who's been here before. I like how Hoagland is skinny and smart. Good, sharp, clean individual. So remember, Cranial Plating has extra text and equips at instant speed. Oh, lordy. Lordy. Doesn't matter how low you mulligan is burn if you only ever draw 2 lands. I assume we're dead here. Am I dead? Am I dead? Am I dead? Kill me! Opponent, Searing Blades in hand, draw a creature. They conceding. I gotta type back to them. And recommend being luckier in the future. Great. So Thoughtseize and Stubborn Denial. 2 dispatch can come in. Hey! Kill me, opponent. Hey, look at that! We won the game of Modern because they didn't draw their thing. God bless us. God bless us, everyone. Beep 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 beep. I pay $5 a month for the privilege to be warned before. That's true. That's true. I 100% always give subs a warning. That we've timed out subs before, but they have to say some pretty obnoxious things. Oh, what does this hand do? I guess this could technically, hey, Steam Flogger Boss with the salty cheer. This could technically dispatch on 1, right? I guess this could technically Thoughtcast on 1, can't it? Yeah, I guess this is just turn 1 Thoughtcast, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the 1 Thoughtcast in our deck. Deal. Actually, because I drew the Signal Pest, I could have actually played one of these out that turn, right? So that is technically a mistake. I should have led on one of these. I didn't adjust the line I was taking based on the new information from the card I drew for the turn. So one of the things you want to do as a Magic player, technically the sub that timed himself out didn't say words. That's true, Dick. You were spewing equations. I'm so good at hitting lands. So one of the things you want to do as a Magic player to get faster as you play is to think about what you're going to do on your next turn in advance on your opponent's turn. But you also, in that same vein, you need to reassess what's happening after you draw your new card for the turn. And I failed to reassess once I drew my new card for the turn. I'm equipping this to something. Which thing? Am I blocking this turn? I'm not blocking this turn. I feel like we're just like beep beep popping the Jeep. Beep beep. They're gonna die next turn, right? Oh, it did. It did bring me to 40 kids. That's true. Okay. Yeah, so my sequence was good there. Because I needed to cast the Thoughtcast. Thank you. Look at that. Yeah, good call. Chat. God, I'm just so smart and thin. What about another Cranial Plating? We feel about another Cranial Plating. Do you have 2 pieces of removal, opponent? My body is ready to dispatch my own thing in response to a deflecting palm here. If I dispatch this, they die, right? This will be -1 power. Can I spew if I give you my money? Yeah, people with cheer bits next to their name, it's kind of like a sub logo. So they don't gain health if I remove the target in response, and then they'll take exactly 8 and die here. And Steel Overseer is too slow. That's true. Steel Overseer does take a while to get going. It's kind of a fair interactive card. The only thing I changed, JSB, is I split your mana base to 2 Spires, 2 Glimmervoids, and I mained all the Galvanic Blasts. Everything else is your thing. No, I'm using a standing desk, so this is actually the exact same corner I'm in. I'm just standing currently because my desk now moves up and down, which is nice. I love my standing desk. It was my best purchase last year. Yeah, this hand's fine, right? It doesn't have a Galvanic Blast, but it like plays out 3 things, then has a plating on 2, so it's decent. Wear chair is bad. Everyone's entitled to their opinions. That's a good start for us. Hey, V-Monk with the brand new Twitch Prime support. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. As always, subscriptions are the best way you can support my content here. Thanks for sending your Amazon fun money this way this month. Ooh, that's interesting. All right, I'm just gonna lead on that then. I was gonna equip this. Maybe I'm supposed to equip this to here, honestly. Yeah, that might be wrong. Just like gave him a chance to use the remand. Human bodies were not intended to sit for whatever large amounts of time I use the computer for. You wanna link me deck lists on Twitter or Twitch or Discord if you're one of my subscribers. I try not to look at deck lists midstream. Oh, that's a tilt. It's the newly controlled one. Tap that. Fire this up and attack first. Get them into Galvanic Blast as lethal range. I actually haven't looked at the full spoiler for that set, so I could have activated this for one more point of damage here, but that doesn't really matter. Just gonna go ahead and pass here. They tap their blue land, I will kill them. I mean, you can float mana in response to a Stony Silence and then kill it with your Moxes or your Springleaf Drums. The same way you can float mana to kill, what's it called, right? Kill Blood Moons. So you can float mana, say Stony Silence resolves, and then kill it. So like, I think that's pretty real. This card seems great against a control deck. Do I just like trim these Galvanic Blasts? Is that unreasonable? I think that's the plan. All right, let's do it. Close game, both teams stray. Yeah, just like, it seems from the spoilers I'd looked at before the full spoiler was posted today, I just felt like they were pushing a lot of synergy type cards, and synergy type cards are not how you're going to compete with energy. This hand probably was unkeepable. I don't know. It's got Signal Pest into Ravager. A Springleaf Drum, a Memnite, and a Blast. That's interesting. I'm excited to play with what's it called. It's possible I should just play this out this turn because it's better against Remand. It's also better against Condescend, like we're getting Condescended here. Yep. I know we're going to be trying Blood Sun and Red Green Tron. That sounds great. Blood Sun should be pretty good in Red Green Tron. Can't get Ghost Quartered or Tech Edged. It can trips. Beep 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 beep. Man, my body is ready to get Karned or Ulamogged or whatever terrible thing is about to happen to us next turn. I'm like going 1, 2, 3, 8 mana. Oblivion Stone. It's rude. Land. So, I'm playing this out to give my opponent the chance to let it resolve, not knowing that I'm going to be able to dump a bunch of counters on the Inkmoth Nexus, because this only destroys non-lands. So if they blow this up, I can sack my board to my Ravager and then sack my Ravager to itself and put all the counters on the Inkmoth Nexus. And then like, so basically I'm like using this Ravager, I'm like cashing this Ravager in order to put a bunch of counters on the Inkmoth Nexus. So like if my opponent doesn't have a way to deal with this, we're gonna get to kill them very quickly with that. I'm sure we're gonna get like Ghost Quartered or Tech Edged or whatever here. Yeah, this is gonna go get a Ghost Quarter, but I think that line was worth it in case they don't have it. Field of Ruin. Yep. It's because this is a blue. Let's cast our Master of Etherium. Another Inkmoth not the worst draw. Sure. Man, their board must be really bad in this matchup if they still have remans in post board. Oh, I should have changed phases there, right? Because they had a colorless floating. Probably Pithing Needle for Inkmoth Nexus here. Walking Ballista. Well, that's... Probably use the words unbeatable. Someone recommended cutting a Springleaf Drum. I think I like that. Slip another blast back into my deck. A little bit more reach-a-rooney. Boarded a Signal Pest out? Oh, I boarded a Signal Pest out instead of a drum. God, this hand is so close. This land was a Darksteel Citadel, it'd be great, right? Oh, I just can't keep this though, right? We'll just like brick and die. This hand just doesn't do anything. I'm gonna go land, Opal, Springleaf Drum, Skirge. So I don't need that to cast the Thoughtcast. Who put affinity cards in robots, right? Iron Guthix, please don't use the word retarded in a derogatory sense like that. First and only warning.
So dummy.
You're the best wife ever.
Hey, dummy.
Jump us draw spells.
Okay. Ready.
I don't think it works like that.
What works?
I think the plan is to play a league with Affinity and then a league with Dredge. And I think I'm going to close out with Affinity tonight. Spell Pierce my Mox Opal deal. I guess I shouldn't have activated this first, although I probably wouldn't have paid for it, right? The channel's actually grown a good deal recently. The donation deck list bit was a good added extra. Use this to make this larger. Is Declan awake? You don't know.
You can hear him. He usually lets us know when he's awake.
That's true.
He is relatively.
When's the next open I'm going to? Never. The wife's spoken. Never, apparently. No, I don't think so. Manaless Dredge is a pretty shitty deck. Yeah, my younger one still goes down for naps. I assume this is a Field of Ruin popping off here. This is pretty good for us. They're in a Fest Tron. Was Karma for the first of all the Mox Diamond? I think Matt and I are going to put a team together for Cincinnati. There's a non-zero chance I go to the Open in Indy next month. The weather's good. And I have a modern deck I like. Which is more likely? The weather being good in February, or me having a modern deck I like? Yeah, I'm playing Magic Online using VMware right now. Although I've used VirtualBox in the past as well. Spatial Contortion, that's rude. Well, they've played exactly 0 cards that search for lands. That means they're gonna have natural Tron next turn, right? Yep, links are fine. The rules on links are act like an adult and you'll be treated like an adult. Act like a child and you'll be treated like a child. The Hex Linux binaries are on their forum, Nick. There's a thread called Hex. Just Google Hex Shards of Fate Linux and the forum thread will pop up. Alright, the slow grind here. Blue Tron players are less lucky. I mean, they're less lucky because their deck's worse, right? Like, there's less cantrips in their deck. Oh, that sucks. Is it gonna be a Walking Ballista? Wait, isn't Docker virtualization software? Oh, they're just getting Tron. Well, I'm gonna have to look into that. Although I will say I'm a little bit terrified to try and play Magic Online via Wine because it barely runs on Windows. Yes, I can make black off of this, right? As well. That's true, we are slowly grinding them out here. I guess I shouldn't concede until they draw the other thing. Or we draw Ravager. If we draw Ravager, we can concede. Interesting. Yeah, Linux is an operating system that's similar to... It's more similar to OS X, but it's a desktop operating... It's actually an everything operating system. Most servers that serve up content on the internet run on Linux. Android is Linux-based. Okay. They have Field of Ruin to clean up. This, it's kind of funny. They're technically at 8 in both directions, right? They're at 2 poison and 2 on here. It depends on what you're using your computer for. If you largely use your computer for proprietary specific applications. Like if you have to have Magic Online for your computer to function, like Magic Online doesn't work natively on Linux. But if you just like use your computer to use the internet, or the specific applications that you're using support Linux, like that's great. It's really resource efficient. Like the Linux operating system that I use, when it boots up, it uses less than 200 megs of RAM, which is great. How deep are we into this league? I think this is match 3, match 4. It's match 4. We're currently 2-1. Can I finally concede? Sounds like I can finally concede. Yeah, I contribute to a number of open source projects, so that's why doing Python development is much easier on Linux than on Windows. God, the last time I tried to set up a Python environment on Windows, you just don't do it. It's not pleasant. All right, we're 2-2 with bots now. Steel Overseer free bots. It's kind of amazing to me that Windows still doesn't have a package manager. Hey! Cardboard Crackling, welcome to the Wild Sub Club. 3 months in a row, welcome back. I appreciate the continued support. We're not playing Steel Overseer because this is a donation deck list from the person that donated. Did not have Steel Overseer in their deck. Hey, I'm Tutu, Magic Online bot. I use a text editor. I use Genie. It's an IDE. It's not technically an IDE. Is this hand keepable? I'm tired of mulliganing with this deck. This hand's bad for reference, but I'm keeping it. Humans. Notepad++ actually doesn't have a Linux client for reference. And like, honestly, it probably doesn't have a Linux client because like, there's so many full-featured text editors for Linux. The only way a brew can change the format in Modern is by being faster and more degenerate than the other decks that are currently fast and degenerate, while also being kind of resistant to hate. And introducing another linear deck to Modern doesn't sound like something particularly interesting that I want to do. I guess I shouldn't auto pass here because I have a Ravager. This human deck is very good. It's put up a ton of results. If you can manage to get it to install, pip technically works on Windows, the Python package manager. Yeah, the Cobra Sahili deck is sweet. It's interesting. I don't know if it's very good. You have to play a bunch of kind of mediocre cards. I could cast a Thoughtcast. I'm probably supposed to cast a Thoughtcast here, right? Oh, dude, it's gonna cost me 2 mana. I just didn't draw a land. Honestly, if you're not, if you have to ask the question which desktop version of Linux you should install, you should just install the latest version of Linux Mint. In all honesty, anything Ubuntu LTS based is probably fine. They're long-term support builds. I actually help maintain a Linux distribution that's built on top of Ubuntu LTS, but it's not something I'd recommend to someone if they're not familiar with Unix. That's a completely reasonable and beatable Magic card. Yeah, the Breeding Pool fetch line does imply that they're uncollected company. Good catch. Elementary's fine. I think Mint has more of a pedigree, and I'd rather have something with a longer history. Stop it! Stop hitting him! He's dead! He's dead! It's worth noting that this is the type... I don't think it would have changed anything if these Thoughtcasts has been Steel Overseers, but I think this is the type of matchup where Steel Overseer is actually okay, because, like, the opponent's just trying to go fast, and we, what's the word I'm searching for? They're trying to go fast, and... my words are escaping me. They don't have a lot of removal for it. I think I want to cut some of these Masters if I'm bringing in these Etched Champions in an aggressive deck. So I probably just want to cut all of them since I'm bringing in Grid, too. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna bring in Grids, Dispatch, and Dismember. Yeah, Ubuntu's great. Just Mint takes like the Ubuntu LTS and like adds some extra bits on top of it that are like, it does things like installs all the closed source multimedia codexes by default, so your computer will like play MP3s in your closed source files without having to do anything extra. I'm excited to try this Docker image that runs Magic Online through Wine, though. That sounds great. No, I don't think that's strictly true, Sage Phoenix. I think if you, it's actually much easier to install Linux than it is to install most versions of Windows. Like, I'm constantly impressed by the number of people that, like, don't have any technical experience that end up with, like, my Bodhi project installed. Like, the Bodhi project that I work on is, like, great for reviving old computers, too, because, like I said, the environment only requires, like, less than 200 megs of RAM to boot up. So, like, older systems that only have a gig of memory that just, like, have no hope of running a current version of Windows in a web browser, like, will be fine on it. This is... yeah, it seems pretty good, right? Just play 5 things to run. Yeah, that's the plan, Jet. Dredge and then Cobra Kiki. Play Ape Dredge again here. Pimped up Mug. Let's keep the hostility to a minimum. I agree that we were dead last time. I'm not sure what Tarzi 1 said, but yeah, I mean, well, like, they want to tell you that it's difficult to use, right? Like, if Linux is easy to use, then well, I should have put this on the one that gains health. Why didn't you put it on the one that gains health, Hogland? Because I fucked up. That's why. The desktop environments that are not focused on being lightweight usually take somewhere between 500 megs and a gig of RAM, I believe. Like Unity, GNOME 3, and KDE 4 are probably somewhere in the 500 meg to a gig range. But like the Enlightenment desktop that Bodhi is built on top of usually uses about 70 megs for the actual desktop, and then like another 50 megs or so for the network manager that we use. Yeah. Yeah, if you don't use specific proprietary applications that you need, like, for a lot of people, their computer is just like a gateway to the internet. Like, Google Chrome is their computer. Like, everything they do on the computer is done inside of Google Chrome. Like, that's, like, Linux is great for you. If everything you do is your web browser, Linux runs the internet great. In fact, for those that are, you might not heard of Linux, Chrome OS is Google's Linux-based cloud operating system. It's actually built on a variation of Arch Linux, I believe, but it basically just boots up to a web browser, right? It depends on the game. All of the games that come directly from Valve have Linux support these days, but third-party games are hit or miss. And again, like, if you want to play specific games, like, that don't have a Linux client, like, that's a reason to use Windows. Like, you should use whatever works for your computer, right? Oh, I'm timing you out because that's wrong. God, it's been a while since I've timed someone out because I said something wrong about technology. This hit means they're probably dead regardless, right? I can move the Cranial Plating and then sack what they block. This is our turn 3, right? That block actually just leaves them dead on board, right? They're gonna gain 1 and go to 9 and then take 9. I mean, like, to be fair, AWEQ, it sounds like wherever you're getting your files from is a pretty miserable source for files. If the place you're getting your files from aren't well designed for your operating system, like, it's not the operating system's fault that, like, whoever set up the packages is bad. If I give you a Python script and tell you to run it on Windows, you're gonna have a miserable time debugging how to run this Python application that works perfectly fine on Windows just because it's not well packaged for you for Windows. Like, don't blame the operating system because, like, whoever packaged your shit was bad at their job. This hand feels close. How do we feel about this hand, chat? It doesn't do anything explosive. I feel like the fact, because we don't have colored mana, I want to go ahead and throw it back. But it does go Skirge into Ravager into Etched Champion. I feel like if any of these 3 lands were like a Mox or Made or like a Glimmervoid or something like that, I might play this, but yeah, exactly. Like, it works fine, but, like, you had to jump through some hoops because I don't have it packaged for Windows. Just timing. Oh, that's not the one I want to do. All right, that person can just have a ban. That's fine. It isn't about being dead that turn. It's about there being no draws in your deck that, like, lets you win that game. Evasion is key. That's fair. I think that's a good. Yeah. I feel like this one is really close. And like I said, if I had a colored source, I'd just snap it off and not think about it. But I think this into this might make this fun. And I feel like there's a lot of cards that just, like, unlock this hand completely. I'm gonna keep it. I would not be surprised if mulliganing this was correct, though. I mean, DirectX is only Windows, so it doesn't work on Linux at all through the, except through Wine technology. Just got back from a 5-out FNM with Just Kai Thing in the Ice Pyromancer edition. Yeah, that was a deck for a while, right? Yeah, definitely. And, like, you know, people always talk about, like, the honest answer is, like, there's a lot of people that, like, are like, oh no, you gotta use open source software, man, you gotta feel the freedom. And it's just like, you can just use what works for you. Mox Opal, if Mox Opal had been on top, this hand would be nuts, right? Deck was good with Probe. Okay, yep, that's fair. Ooh, don't have another land, don't have another land, don't have another land, don't have another land, no land, no land. Yes! Yes! Come on! Mox Opal, come on, Mox Opal. Come on, Mox Opal. Come on, come on. I need a Mox. We'll settle for Springleaf Drum or any red source, but Mox Opal would be perfect. Red source, red source, red source. Oh, they have a land. That's sad. That's so sad. That's so sad. I was gifted a red source, but that's so sad. Am I even supposed to Galvanic Blast something now? Am I still searching for a deck to play? I mean, I haven't found a modern deck I can stand playing, if that's what you're asking. Was that the question? Have I found a modern deck I can stand playing? Am I getting pathed? Are they pathing my Vault Skirge in response to this? I'm not sure if I'm tilted or excited about that. I feel like it's one of the two. I feel like there's not middle ground here. I'm like tilted or excited by this. Why not play green-black Tron? That's probably a fine deck. Whoa, they don't have a company? That's really good for us. No collected company is aces. What do they keep? Do they have some kind of artifact take card in their hand? I'm waiting for him to find one for me. I do what I can. I do what I can. I know that doesn't narrow it down much, but I'm excited to cast some more Restoration Angels at some point tonight. That's my favorite card. She's my bae. She's my favorite. All right, so we're on the please don't Thalia's Lieutenant Us plan. It's an okay draw. So I get to do this. Get to do this. Do I need to hold up? Yeah, I don't really need to hold up this Galvanic Blast, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do this and smack them for 2. I can potentially kill them in the air next turn, right? That'd be really aggressive to try that. There's another Reflector Mage. Okay, that's a little annoying. Okay, well, they're not dead next turn now. But we're still just, like, getting them with this Inkmoth Nexus. I mean, you can try Linux on a live CD too, which will let you know if it works with your hardware. Just like boot it off a USB or a DVD image. Okay, well they have 2 Reflector Mages. Man, their keep was really bad. Sweet, are we gonna cash this league? I'm excited to cash this league. Get my fun bucks back. Get my fun bucks back. All about getting my sweet, sweet fun bucks back. You want to DM me. I don't look at decklists while we're streaming here, so we're 5-0'd with a donation deck list. I'm not sure that we have. I guess the Cobra Sahili decks were technically donation lists. You should draw an Overseer, you're not wrong. This here, pump this, and then if they just play out whatever card they draw next turn, we get to kill them with the Ravager and the Inkmoth, right? Etched Champion just like being a bae holding down the fort here. They get to attack us for 2 here. That's fine. Holding up something is smart here. Cranial Plating is great though. Turns out Cranial Plating is excellent. I'm playing the Mox on Saturday, so also most of these have been donation lists, but like I am playing the Mox on Saturday, so like I just like even if I'm pretty sure I'm not playing Affinity in the Mox, but like just being familiar with the format and like cards people play is like good practice. Opponent with the bluff taps. Yeah, the opponent kept a pretty resource heavy hand and then just got punished there pretty significantly for it. Oh yeah, Eldrazi Evolution, that's true. We definitely 5-0'd with that. That deck was great. I think it is great. I'd actually play that this weekend if Reality Smasher wasn't bugged. Reality Smasher wasn't bugged. I just would 100% smash people with Eldrazi Evolution this weekend. So thoughts on Affinity. I don't really know if I have enough thoughts from that one set to really have a good feeling on whether or not I kind of like what cutting Overseer does in the abstract of like making your deck better against removal, but I think cutting Overseer but playing Master of Etherium is kind of counterintuitive. I think if our goal is to make the opponent's removal bad, we just like should be playing Etched Champions in the main deck. I think like this card is like a bigger Steel Overseer in a lot of ways, so if we're playing this, I kind of want Steel Overseers or vice versa, just like only play one or the other. People were shitting on the sideboard, but I think Wear Tear is fine. I think having outs to reasonable things is a fine place to be in life. The rest of the cards seem fine. Dispatch was pretty good today. Is like just Galv Blast like 5/6 against the creature heavy deck, so I think I was pretty happy with like having access to like 3 more pieces of removal out of the sideboard.